My name is Shannah Cariño. I'm the Homeless Liaison here in Akron Public Schools. I have been here 8 years. The very first thing I would do is start with a mission statement that's guiding you. So much is going to come at you, and the families and the students that we work with have so many needs. It is not going to be possible to do everything that you want for them. If you are guided by a mission, that allows you to prioritize where you can spend your time, where you can allocate resources. I put that on the top of our staff meeting agendas. I put it on the top of any presentations that we do. It always goes back to our role at Project Rise to ensure that homeless youth in Akron Public Schools have the same educational opportunities as all students. You say, how closely does this align with the mission? And yes, let's do it. I think we can make this work within our mission. It's McKinney-Vento 101, but if we need, we go back to that and say, is this removing barriers to education? When you're starting in a school district as a homeless liaison, either establish or get familiar with a chain of communication within your district. You want to know how the district employees are going to know about McKinney-Vento services, what you offer, and the McKinney-Vento law. So that's likely going to be you facilitating some professional development for the district or pushing out information to the district. You need to know how they're going to know about you, how they're going to let you know when they hear of a student who's been identified as homeless, and how you'll get information back to them. So that chain of communication is going to be how the whole job, the whole program works. And I would get that established right away, or get familiar with something that's already existing. Maybe see if there's any holes in the communication that exists. Top priority is meeting the key players both in your district and in your community who share similar goals to you and who are also helping students who have barriers to education. To know who else is working with the same population in the same district, connect people to what they need the most. When we do a presentation to a community program or a Head Start program, it is a rotating need, especially in social services. Staff turnover and changes in the community, people just need refreshers. And so sometimes I think, oh man, I was just there last year. Do they want to hear the same information over again? And usually they do. And it's helpful. And they forget. And you can remind them. And you're also a friendly face. People are more likely going to send people to you if they know you and they think you're nice and they think you're going to be helpful. I think the biggest surprise and what would have been helpful to know going in is that the needs of our families and our students do not always align with the district, your employer. You're going to be working with families and you're going to be advocating for families, and sometimes somebody in other roles in your district aren't happy about what you're doing. Going back to that mission of kind of, this is what I do, this is my role, I realize that my district is going to have a hard time enrolling a family of 7 kids in an elementary school that's already full. Going back to that, my role is to make sure these kids don't have barriers to education, and I know that this is going to be hard for you, and I know that this is, I know school starts tomorrow and you already had your classrooms kind of all set, but we need to go ahead and enroll these kids, and these are the reasons why, and this is the law that backs this up. So on one hand, you have these colleagues that you work really great with, and you guys can all support each other. On the other hand, sometimes, what you need to do for families makes their job harder. And I think part of it is like building relationships. There's a personality there that could go in like a bull and just say, you have to do this and suck it up. But if you can cushion that a little bit with empathy and support, say, I know this is going to be tough for you, but let me do this. I'll gather the documents that the student needs and I'll get them to you to make that easier for you. Not saying, you have to do this, you have to get it done, but saying, well, we have to do this, how can I help you? I would say kind of building a cohesive team. The mission aligns. Everybody believes in and everybody works hard. We've got some entry-level positions. We end up training them on McKinney-Vento, and then they kind of butterfly off into other parts of the district. And so I think of them as like little Project Rise army. I've got 3 school counselors in our district that spent some time working with Project Rise, and now they advocate for kids in their building. Principals that have spent some time working with Project Rise. My philosophy has always been to hire people because they're going to be good during the time that they spend with you, even if you think they're going to leave, because they're overqualified. That actually works out super well in your favor because they do end up branching off into other roles into the district, and they know about Project Rise, and then they become kind of ambassadors, unofficial ambassadors in their setting. So just having that and the team that works with McCuny-Vento and being passionate about what we do, I think that is what I'm most proud of. I'm actually training somebody right now, telling her she's going to be okay, right? But she doesn't feel like she's going to be okay because there's so much to learn, and that it takes time to learn those things, just like in any job. But the learning curve for a position like this is pretty high. What I like to tell people is that you cannot fix everything for families and students, but the compassion that you show on a day-to-day basis, that you answer your phone and you make them feel welcome, and a new space that they're in or an existing space with a new hardship will make a difference. So you can do that multiple times a day, every day, and to focus on what you can do to be helpful rather than what the family still needs that you weren't able to help with. If you end your day thinking, I made this easier, I was able to get kids enrolled, I was able to get kids to school today, and what you could do to be helpful, that you work toward your mission, I think you're going to be better off.